Hello friends, Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Jobu, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Because without you guys, well, I'd be sitting down here with Jobu all by myself, and you know that just wouldn't be good. In fact, it might even be a little bit creepy. Fortunately, my cold feels a lot better. We didn't end up having to work tonight. We got to work tomorrow night instead. So I've been sitting here doing a couple of videos, and thank you guys for all the great comments and stuff on the Leave Zeke Alone video. That thing is kind of growing like crazy, and it seems like people really like that one. And Victor Baker, man, I'm sorry if I took your thunder away, because that's kind of a Victor Baker type of video. He is definitely my... I can't even think of the word for it, but he's some inspiration. That's it. The inspiration for videos like that, because Victor is crazy out there, and you will see him crying as Eagle fans after a loss and so forth and all that, and it's always really good. But anyway, back to Zeke Elliot. Now, I've gotten some comments from people that are saying that I've been talking about Zeke Elliot too much, or I put too many videos out there, but hey, it's funny how the guys that say that I do too much on YouTube are always the first ones to respond. So if you don't like what I do, feel free to unsubscribe. You don't have to be here. I'm thankful that you are. I appreciate it. But if you don't like it, why even bother putting a comment saying that you don't like it? Just don't understand it. I just wouldn't watch it if it were me. But anyway, back to Zeke Elliot and TMZ. I got to tell you, TMZ is the bottom of the barrel. They are the scum of the earth. They are like whale shit, and whale shit is at the bottom of the ocean. Because the way they portray every single thing out there is purely for a click. They don't worry about getting the facts right. They will throw dirt on anybody, and they will never, ever say they were wrong. Because what came out last night, of course, at first was Terrence Williams was racing in front of a strip club. Yeah, you've got the spirit of the story correct. He was at a strip club for a friend's birthday that he went to because it was his friend's birthday, stayed for a little bit, and while they were waiting for their car, him and his friend had a foot race out front. But they had said that Terrence Williams had gotten into an altercation with, somebody at the club, and they were outside racing, and you think that there was a drag race out front and everything else. Not quite the right story. And there's case after case after case. I mean, these guys must just have their headquarters in Dallas, because they are just literally trying to dig up dirt, and if they can't find dirt, they will make up dirt. I mean, we had Zeke Elliot, of course, and his boat boarded by the Coast Guard. Well, it wasn't his boat. And the Coast Guard came on to check and see if there was enough life preservers. And if you looked at the smile on the guys' faces, you could tell they just came by because they wanted to check out the party. When there was the incident in Ohio at the club where somebody else carried a gun, the headlines that came out first from TMZ was, Zeke Elliot detained by the police. Well, they just talked to him along with everybody else in the club to find out what's going on. There was no detaining. There was no arresting. There were no charges. But the way the stories are captured make you think that they are. Don't get me wrong. Zeke needs to realize there is a Dallas Cowboy target on his back. And people will enjoy trying to take you down, which means that you have to be better than perfect. You've got to be dead on, because they will take anything that you do and twist it around. Now, I'm not saying that Zeke's perfect. I'm not defending Zeke, because I think Zeke needs to kind of say, hey, I need to focus on football. The partying stuff can happen after I'm done. I need to focus on getting myself a ring or 2 or 3 or 4 and leave the partying for elsewhere. And be careful of the situation that he's getting in. I'm glad that Jerry Jones came out, and here's a clip of Jerry Jones, what he had to say.
The biggest message is not one that has to be stated, and that is that your actions would impact an entire team. It impacts the entire fan base. There's a lot of responsibility there. Then I think to the team, it's a reminder of the interest that's in your actions and behavior. And it's not dissimilar from the message that you have when you sit down with a child and a young person when you're talking about how.
And all that to do, I forgot. And how could I forget? Jobu needs a refill. I'm glad that Jerry finally said something. I'm glad somebody in Dallas finally said something. Because we've been going through with all of these incidents that have been going on with really nobody saying much. We need leadership on the team. We need guys to basically take people aside and say, listen, we need your ass out there. We need you to get right. But the interesting thing, and thanks to a lot of you fans out there, because you guys make me a better sports host, because you remind me of things that I've forgotten. There's a study out there from 2000 to 2014 about players arrested in the NFL, and the number was something like 642. And if you watch the talking heads, you would think all 642 of them were Dallas Cowboy players. But the interesting thing about that is, between 2000 and 2014, only 13 of them were Dallas Cowboys. That's right, only 13. I believe Denver topped the list. I think Cincinnati was second. Dallas Cowboys were down, I believe, in the bottom 6 or 7 in arrest in the NFL. But yet, they don't talk about all the other teams with guys that are getting arrested and suspended. I mean, we've had guys like Plexico Burress carry a gun into a nightclub where it's illegal to have a gun in New York and shoot himself in the leg. We've had Talib, I can't remember his last name, in Denver, shoot himself in the leg. We've had guys carrying guns into airports. We've had guys busted for drugs, domestic violence, smoking weed, performance-enhancing drugs. We've had it all over the NFL at a higher rate than the Dallas Cowboys. Yet, they don't focus on those guys when it happens. But if it's a Dallas Cowboy player, boom, they make it sound like the worst. When you listen to the reports or you read an article, the first thing they say when everything happens with Zeke Elliot is, he's under investigation for domestic violence, involved in a fight at a bar. Now, speeding. Even though the speeding was back in April, it was a ticket that he's appealing. The bar fight, he wasn't part of. The domestic violence, the case has more holes than Swiss cheese. But the way it's listed by all of the media is, he's guilty of all of these things and he's a bad guy. That's why I did the video, Leave Zeke Alone. Because it's a witch hunt. It's a witch hunt for any Dallas Cowboy player. So guys, Dallas Cowboy players, I don't know if any of you will ever see this, hear this, know who I am, or care who I am. But understand, right or wrong, you are a Dallas Cowboy player. And you are held to a higher standard than anyone else in the NFL. It's just a fact of life. With that star goes a lot of responsibility. So, as always, friends, I want to thank you guys for all the support. This channel is growing like crazy. Tomorrow, rookies report to the star to begin workouts for the 2017 season. And I, for one, am happy that I will actually be able to start reporting about play on the field instead of all the off-season drama. And as always, I want to thank you guys for all the support. Now, I have a Patreon page. I'm still working on loading it up. I have a contest where you guys can enter and become part of the Jobu Sports Report by co-hosting with me here on the Jobu Sports Report. So check out the page. I'll put the link in here so that way you guys can go to it. I'm Mark Holmes. This is Cowboy Jobu, and I want to thank you guys for all the support. Have a great night.